All right, Lady Ada, what is this?
Hey,
We're
everybody.
back.
Hi, and welcome to Show and Tell. Thank you. Last week, was it Liz that ran Show and Tell? Or
Maybe.
JP? Sorry, I don't remember who. Whoever it was, thank you so much for running Show and Tell. But we're back. It's me, Lady Ada, with me, Master Lady Ada. But it's not about us. It's about all the makers and community members that are going to come by and show off what they're making and crafting and 3D printing and roboting and blowing bubbles. Oh, there's lots of exciting stuff going on here.
Yeah.
We're first going to kick it to Jay.
Jay, what is going on? How are you robots doing?
Did you keep robotics on?
Good. I have another Aussie. This one actually has facial recognition, and I kind of just recorded a small thing because I noticed it was looking at both of you guys. It kept lighting up and then going back and forth. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Let me just record that really quickly.
Oh, because he's looking at the video.
We just had a kid, and like one of the first things like initially was like, "Oh, she's looking at both of us now." So it's like like a lot of folks said like, "Oh, when you're doing like AI and robotics, there's a very like, oh, I'm teaching it and it's learning, and now it's reacting to something." It's a very we have that make robot friend, not robot enemy, and I think I trust your robots more than others.
Well, it's funny. So this is the second one because the first one is all remote controlled. So like I have two of them now. One can be controlled by remote control for people who want to play with robots.
Yeah.
And one I can easily just wear and they can do the AI thing.
Yeah.
And tilt, easy facial recognition. This one's all AI. This one's all for play.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just made.
How'd you do it?
How is it doing the face stuff?
OpenMV, me and my friend Sean. I'm sorry, Sean. I always mess up your last name. If you see this, Sean, I am sorry. But we use the OpenMV, and we wrote a code, and we use the OpenMV. I already have one. You can get one as well from the store. But we wrote the code for this a while ago, and I've been improving on it and just adding a little bit each time I do it. This one is the most recent upgrade where I messed around with some of the numbers, and now it kind of has a bigger range of motion, and it's a bit faster when tracking people. And I also put a limit on it too, because the other one kind of just stares at people, but this one will take a quick glance for a second and then look away.
You have to write the creeper like after so many seconds, like it's doing creeper.
After a small minute, just look away. Just
it can't.
I find somebody else.
It can't quietly judge. No.
Yeah, I got really tired of people doing the whole this thing when I'm out and about. They try to see if it's following them. And I'm like, yes, stop it.
When we first started learning how to do puppetry for our shows, one of the things that we learned was if the puppet is always in motion, people they think it's alive and it's breathing, especially young kids. But as soon as it stays completely still, it dies. And it's like, oh, now it's an inanimate object. I don't like it. It's actually creepy. But as long as you're kind of doing stuff and it's always in motion, it's always blinking, it's always kind of doing something that's not just like I'm a piece of plastic.
Yeah, it's a whole thing with human psychology because for some reason we are very we don't really notice this intentionally, but we notice things that are perfectly still. There's a whole bunch of fun sci-fi books where a robot's trying to be human and they have to program small movements and itches and stuff. Because if they're completely still, people just unintentionally notice this person's
maybe because maybe lions and tigers used to be perfectly still before they ate us. So we're programmed something's really still. I'm about to get eaten.
Yeah, probably actually. Yeah,
this is my guess. Yeah, I saw an article and it's we found a cave full of skulls and it has big cat teeth, saber-toothed teeth from eating people. So I'm like, oh no. So anyways, robots should not stay still. The fifth law of robotics.
We need to rewrite that whole system anyway. I'm not a fan of those rules.
Yeah. I think robot friend, not robot enemy is what we've been doing. We keep saying whatever we put into these robots is what we're going to get out. So we should put good stuff in. And I think that's why a lot of folks are freaked out about AI, not because of the AI. I think subconsciously they know there's some crummy people doing crummy things with technology. And so it's actually now about to introduce itself to us. So I think you should be in charge of all robotics.
I mean, as anyone can learn from any sci-fi movie, the easiest way to stay friends with robots is just be nice to the robot.
We've learned this so many times. I've seen so many movies.
Don't kick the robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that hard. Just some basic human decency.
Science fiction has paved the way. It's don't do certain things, and then the robots will be your friend. They'll totally be your friend.
They just have a thing with games like, can you pet the dog? They should have it be like, can you kick the robot? Because if you can kick the robot, you're a jerk.
Yeah, don't kick the robot.
Don't kick the robot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, well, keep coming back with your robot friends. They're delightful. Before we started the show and tell, I was like, I have to look at a lot of things in the world every day on my internet computer, and I save your stuff as a treat after I get through the stuff that's not so fun, because it's always delightful and it's always whimsical and it always makes me feel good about technology.
Oh, glad.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
All right. Speaking of great things and great people in technology, Jeff, what you got going on?
Hello. I figured you'd bring somebody else up. Yeah. So this is a PyPortal, perfectly normal, but I've connected it to OpenAI, and I wanted to do a little interactive game.
This is a good use of OpenAI, by the way, everyone.
I hope so.
This is a wholesome good use.
Yeah. So my inspiration is the good old Zork games, and each time you start it, you get a different prompt, and just by touching the touch screen, you can make a choice. So what should we do?
Look around.
Look around. All right. That's always a safe move.
Yeah.
And so now this device here is connecting on the internet, talking to OpenAI, hopefully getting back a completion. Here we go.
Okay. So
Let's see. The grounds are overgrown. The gates are rusted shut. Oh.
I love these very good. The descriptive text is so similar. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look for another entrance.
So, I mean, you can play this
There's a side entrance.
Ever. I have actually had the game announced that I won. But it's intended to kind of be unlimited. So
okay, well, look for a light switch.
Look for a light switch.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I keep picking 2. I don't know why 2 is always the one.
Yeah, I'm working on a guide about this because we want to kind of show how you can do AI with CircuitPython and with Wi-Fi. So this will be one of them, and then we were talking about doing one with the Pico W as well.
Okay, look for
it's like what's going to happen next? You'll just have to
kind of fun
and wait.
It's also one of the things with ChatGPT is it takes a little bit of time between every query, but it kind of works well because it's got this heightened sense of anticipation.
And I also it's like the right tool for the right job, because the AI right now that everyone's starting to play with, it's a very confident liar, but that's exactly what you want for a game.
Yeah, you want somebody who's just going to go with whatever the idea
I want a
is.
dungeon master that I have unlimited access to for gaming and fun. I don't want this to decide if I get a mortgage or not. Yeah.
It actually reminds me a little bit of the story of 1001 Arabian Nights, where the woman every night she has to tell a story to her. She's a slave and she has to tell a story to the master, and he's going to kill her unless she comes up with a good story every day. So I don't know. I don't know why it has this feel of ChatGPT probably has this anxiety of I have to.
It has to
I'm going to be disconnected.
It has to impress us, otherwise the plug is pulled. Could be.
I think. All
right, just one of the big robot friends. All right, this is super cool. So this will be on the learning system soon.
Yeah, probably in the next week or so.
All right,
so
cool.
Yeah, keep an eye out.
I'll mention one thing. I don't know if I'll have time to do this. I might have to get a team of people. One of the things I wanted to do is put in all of the old Teddy Ruxpin things. If everyone remembers what that was.
I kind of missed Teddy Ruxpin. I know it was out there, but I was a little old.
Yeah, so Teddy Ruxpin was a little animatronic toy. It would talk to kids and everything. A million years ago, I worked on this thing with Sony. It's a Curio robot, and it would read to kids, but it was like a humanoid robot. But what I would like to do is get all of these positive good things that someone wrote up for kids, put it in, and use that as the training stuff, not the entire internet, and then have it start to build off of that and make kind of a more modern animatronic teddy bear. If folks have seen the movie AI, I think there's Teddy was one of the little bear that could walk around. I have one from the movie, but you just press a button and just talks. So this would actually be something that would speak and do some more things. But I like the idea of a smaller training set to not worry about I wish you didn't go to 4chan and learn from that. So okay,
cool.
Right. Well, anyway, it's cool stuff.
For folks that are playing around with this, you can get browser extensions. Be careful about which ones, but there's ones that will speak whatever text comes back, and it'll also, you can use your modern computer to do voice recognition. So you can say like, climb the stairs, and it would repeat it back to you, but you can do it with audio as well. So it does text to voice, which is kind of neat. Anyways, make your own Alexa.
All right.
Bye, Jeff.
You're playing out there. Good night.
Bye, Jepler.
All right. More delightful stuff. JP, what you got going on?
Hey, first of all, from earlier, I was excited to learn that the way to keep Lars from being creepy is to keep him moving.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
That's totally less creepy. I don't have a problem with that now.
Hi, so lovable. Oh,
Yeah.
So it's meowzic Central over here, and I've taken the previous meowzic project was to get use the onboard synthesis and just put a line out so that we could go into guitar effects pedals. The new thing, though, is this one, which is my cybercat. So this is a meowzic, which I've turned into a MIDI controller. So it doesn't make onboard sound anymore, but it sends either USB MIDI or classic over TRS MIDI to hardware synths, software synths. We've got the 28 keys. The nose does MIDI panic, which is a standard MIDI thing to send off to all notes in case some get hung. I've made this a hold. I've made this a sort of temporary CC that can change formants. We can pick different patches, synth patches over here. These can pick different CCs, which is like knobs that get twirled when we move the accelerometer that's in the ice cream cone. This will start an arpeggiator, and then I've got octaves up and down and pitch bends. So I'll demo a couple of those things.
Yeah, go for it.
Won't do it exhaustively, but so let's see what I've got. So those are some arpeggios, and if I hit play here, it'll just let it act as a regular keyboard. If I turn on the ice cream cone action. Oh wait, is that one not doing anything? It might not on this patch. Let me pick a different patch. Oh yeah, it's not noticing that at all. All right, ice cream cone is broken.
Forget it.
I'll show you the hold function. This is kind of cool. So if I turn off the arpeggio, now when I let go, it's just going to keep notes held, and I can go and change octaves, build up these big pads, and then I can do the pitch bend. And this is my little temporary formants. I don't know what happened to the ice cream cone. That's so sad. The ice cream cone was the coolest part.
Well, I feel like you're creating a soundscape.
Come back next week and show the ice cream cone.
I will. Okay, that's the tease there.
Yeah.
Come on back to the ice cream cone next week.
I'm in a little bit of a project dilemma. I was going to actually email you about it. So there's some of the kids' toys that we're taking apart for our kid, and we're putting new electronics in. But I want to paint them black. But of course, baby, so there's no. You can't get kids' toys in black. This is why I'm just like, oh my god, this is really neat. So
right on, yeah.
If maybe I'll talk to you later, Dave. If you know any like really good way to food safe paint something, because kids put stuff in their mouth. I'm probably not going to do it.
Lead candy.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to do it because I can't think of like a really great for sure way to do it. But I would like to paint all of her toys black.
I would be curious about the. Oh, now it's
It's just like temperate paint, which is made out of like eggs, literally.
What's the stuff? The Plastidip. You can get spray Plastidip, so it is peel off later, but it's essentially like a rubberized stuff. I'd be curious if that's
sounds like a choking hazard.
Yeah, I used a matte paint, and then I also used some sealant, some sort of glossy sealant on a couple of the items, which gave it kind of
great.
Yeah, it looks so good.
And then this was actually not in the guide. The guide just came out today, but I chickened out and took the photos before I went the extra step, which was scraping away the layer of black over the slitty eyes.
I think those are that's like the best
green,
part.
and then I couldn't really mask it well enough, so I just painted it over black and figured if I came in with an X-Acto knife, I might be able to get some slitty eyes. So
looks like an Xbox controller designed by a cat. Anyway.
Yeah, love that slime green.
All right, we'll come back next week and show the ice cream cone.
Ice cream cone next week. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, JB. All right, next up, Liz, what you got going on?
Hello. So this is a robot lyre that I've been working on. And what it is, it has a feather, has a feather RP2040. And running CircuitPython, and then it has a servo driver connect over I2C that can drive 16 servo motors. They're mounted here, and it's being controlled over MIDI. So I got this MIDI controller here and a cat in the back. And let me know if you can hear the strings, or I can move the mic.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
I heard it's great.
Yeah, it should sound a little. I don't have it fully pinned down yet, so I'm just going to quickly adjust it.
Okay.
Gotta make sure the lies are lined up. Okay.
All right.
There we go.
Yeah, I just
It's
need
like,
to.
like going to.
I need to.
There.
It has like little risers underneath, so I need to hot glue those. But I can try to get the arpeggiator going.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
This is neat.
Yeah, so it's really responsive, which is what I was like most worried about. So I just need to secure this down, and then it'll be good. And then the aluminum extrusion doubles as counterbalancing the weight, because all these turbos are really heavy.
Yeah.
So once it's secured down, then it should be good for some really nice demos. So
All right.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to this. This is a really cool instrument,
Thank
and
you.
Yeah, that
Nice-
sound
nice
reminds
lyre.
me of Ren fairs and like.
It's like a spa. I feel,
Yeah,
I
it's
feel,
great.
I feel so relaxed.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much,
Thanks,
Liz.
Liz.
All
right.
have a good one.
Next up, we're going to go to Erin, then Scott, and then Delchi, just so y'all know who is up next. Erin, hello. Oh, no, Erin, you're not on for audio. Let's see here. I'll give you a second. I might go to Scott and then come back to you if you want. We're going to be showing this project tonight on Ask an Engineer too, so I'm not too worried about it. Erin, I'm going to come back to you and see how you're doing. Okay, can you hear me? Uh-oh, you can't hear me. All right, well, you know what? Maybe we'll just do Maker Charades. So this is I guess
It's an infinity mirror bubble table.
right. I was going to say, like, how would you describe
that's
this?
exactly how I describe it.
Yeah.
It's Erin's latest guide.
We've made infinity mirrors
She's
before.
friends with like a bubble maker guys. It's
Erin
got
has really
a
cool
battery. It's got like a half silver plastic
Yeah.
mirror. It's got a feather. And the really cool thing is it's using CircuitPython and an infrared receiver with the LED animations library, and Dan Halbert and her work together to make it so you can like send the remote signals and it'll change displays. And then she's got
You
a
did
friend.
a really good video
She
with
has a friend who
the
does
smoke that you can
bubbles.
put in and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I was saying, I imagine every day you go to Erin's house and there's just like some circus person there just doing flips or swallowing swords in the kitchen. Like, hey, I was going to use it to cut the bread. No, busy. There's like, you want to like do a barbecue and there's somebody like just like doing flame juggling. I just imagine it's super fun over at Erin's house. And so she's got somebody who blows bubbles, I guess.
All right. Well, I think you did a really good job on Maker Charades.
Hopefully.
And thank you so much, Erin. We're going to play the video.
Erin's
tonight
dealing
as
with a
well.
big snowstorm, so it could be here.
Yeah, you can tell by the winter gear. When we were in our meeting, you said Erin wins the code of the day.
I know. Well, check out Erin's cool Viking cosplay videos as well. She's got a whole bunch of them with like runes and stuff. And I think that little outfit is kind of reminiscent of the Viking cosplay stuff.
So what was she had a good we're talking about how cold it was in California, and the joke was how cold is inside of a TomTom, the things that it was in Empire Strikes Back.
I don't know, Phil.
Yeah.
How warm is it in a TomTom?
Lukewarm.
Okay.
This was a joke that we had in our other meeting.
And this is
anyways.
why we stick to engineering.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so
Thanks,
much,
Erin.
Erin. Yeah. It's a good dad joke. I'm done now. Okay, let's go to Scott. How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm enjoying the dad jokes. As a new dad myself.
You're in the same club as me now.
You've always loved them. They've always
Yeah.
been there. Now you just have an excuse to
It's true.
laugh out
It's
loud.
very true. Okay, so I've been working on the imxrt. For folks who don't know, it's a new chip that we've got on a new Metro. And the cool thing about it is that it runs at 500 megahertz, which is kind of a lot. But one of the challenges is that your code lives on flash by default. And this is true for ESP as well. But basically, you have levels of caches above that flash to make everything go hopefully fast. So I've been looking into how to make CircuitPython run faster, and I'm running the performance benchmark. And what I got here is it's full function tracing. There is a bug, so it's a little weird, but this is a cool viewer you can get on the internet. And so what I can do is I can see that like MP call function and keyw called type call and then instance make new and blah 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 blah. And I've annotated these with R for RAM or F for flash in front of them so that I can see kind of what is going on and is it in RAM or is it in flash. And there's actually, it turns out there's a cost to going from one to the other as well, even if you have a cache, because ARM has this thing where if they're like, the functions are so far away, you have to do this like trampolining thing. So even if we're hitting the cache, we're still doing these trampoline functions. So I've been digging into this and basically moving more and more stuff to RAM to try to make it run faster.
I admire your handcrafted moving of speed optimizations. And
yeah, whether that scales or not is a separate question. But one of the interesting things is that there's two types of RAM, and like there's a generic cache that the CPU has, and it will cache both flash and regular RAM. But then there's also this like tightly coupled RAM that doesn't get cached because it operates at the speed of the CPU. And so for things that you know you're always going to run, you kind of want them in that special RAM, because then you can have more of this like versatile flash or this versatile cache for everything else that like we may not always run. So yeah, I'm digging into this and we'll see how much I can speed things up.
I'm not no pressure. But one of the things that when you did your deep dives, I really liked watching was there's so much what goes into building a platform that you never see ever.
Yeah.
You'll never, like, there's someone like at Apple that's messing around with like an M2. We'll never see that. They'll never know, never. And so this is really neat to get a glimpse of what it's like to get down to the bare metal,
Right.
as folks say. So if you ever were to do like a screen capture and put it on our YouTube or anything like that, that'd be like kind of like,
you know what? I actually haven't been on top of this, but Foamy Guy's out this week, so I was thinking about streaming in my old slot.
Whoa, the great triumphant return.
well, this would be neat just to like watch you muck around with this, even if it was just like put on some
Yeah, you don't have to do
put
2
on
hours.
some non-copyright infringing tunes and
Well, you know I can talk for 2 hours. It's fine.
yeah.
Well,
I won't do 2 hours because
You have
Yeah.
duties.
But it would
We
be,
have nanny it.
we were thinking of doing that with like Lemore doing stuff in EagleCAD or in KeyCAD, because we're doing a KeyCAD thing soon, where it was just like we just do a screen capture and like maybe have a voiceover only.
Yeah, so I'll try to do that if folks want to. 2 o'clock Pacific on
That'd be
Friday.
Okay.
I won't do the full 2 hours like I used to, but
Yeah.
I'll be there too ish.
Okay. All right. Well,
Assuming my setup still works, and I have been thinking about trying to find a slot during the week that I can start regularly streaming again.
yeah. Well, as someone
I'd love
who's
to hear
in
ideas for that.
a similar situation, maybe a little bit like you are, we've been doing some pre-record segments for our shows when we know that we can get away with it, because I don't know. So okay.
We'll
All right,
see.
Scott. Thank you so much.
I'm not terse. I'm very long-winded.
Well, that's why
the challenge.
might be, yeah, the challenge is how to get to the point.
What's the phrase that people always say? It's like I would have written you something. I would have written you a short note, but I don't know. I'm ruining that quote.
I know what you're talking, but it's very true. Like I don't have to prepare very much for a 2 hour stream, but if I'm preparing for a 10-minute stream, I have a lot of preparation.
Yeah.
Because you gotta get to it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Scott.
Right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Scott.
Oh, if I had more time, I've written you a shorter letter. Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Yeah, that's the phrase. See, like I would have, I talked more about it than the sentence. Okay.
There you go.
Bye-bye. Looking forward to see you Friday, maybe. All right. Last but not least, Delchi, hello. How are you?
Hello.
I think I owe you a thank you for a gift that arrived.
I believe you got it then. Huzzah.
Yeah, we did. We got a pile of stuff when we had kiddo, and then we had to go through mail. So thank you so much. Very much appreciated.
Cheers.
What you got?
Well, on the right is the PyPortal disk USB thumb drive from last week. I got the parts, and I built it.
That's cool. It is so neat to see the future and the past and the present all in one project. This has been a fun one. People have really been making some cool stuff with it.
I have some seriously fun plans for this in the near future. I got 2 of them, and I'm already working on the second one, turning it into a little more than just a thumb drive to show slides and to do other things.
Cool.
So hopefully I'll have that.
We're making one, and we're going to give it as a gift. So I don't think I'm going to spoil the gift for this person, but Anil let us borrow the Prince floppy, and we got the content off the Prince floppy when Prince changed his name to the artist formerly known as Prince and has a symbol. And he let us, use it, get it. We put it on archive.org. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the contents on a floppy so the Prince font symbol's on there and give it to him.
Oh, yeah.
No one tell him. But anyways. That's what I'm going to do. I thought that would be neat for people who are into retro. You could do little gifts like that.
Definitely.
All right. So what else you got there? You got a robot.
On the left, there's my first Stack-Chan robot. It's a Japanese based like fan club thing. Some folks came together and made some 3D prints, and it's using an ESP32 M5 stack, and it's like a personal companion robot. This is like the very baseline one. It uses 2 servos and the M5 stack, and I've changed the code a little bit. And then based on this, I built a second one, which is actually a little bigger, but unfortunately, that one's having some servo problems, so it's not in view at the moment. It's basically a companion robot. I've programmed it to talk to my web server, my home web server, so it will grab information like how many days are left till DEF CON, or somebody just sent you a tweet that says this, and otherwise it'll just sit there and look around and blink at you and say hello, which it's doing right now.
It's really neat. It looks like a little pet that's just like kind of quietly hanging out, chilling like a cat with cute little Lego feet.
I've got 4 of them now in like different places in my apartment, so that they're all like, he's always kind of sort of there.
Yeah,
it's cute.
That is super cute. No, I like the little blinky. This is what we were talking about in the beginning of the show. Like as long as like, the robots are moving and things, like
the eyes are constantly moving.
Like this is peaceful and calm. This is a robot friend. Everything's okay.
Well, it's funny you say that because Jay was one of the people who inspired me to actually get up and do this. And yes, I can. And he gave me some tips on the servos, so he was a really big help getting me started.
Yeah, I like saying that a lot of the show and tells and the thing that we do in the maker community is like skateboarding. It's not competitive. It's more like, oh, I see that you did a neat trick. I can do that trick. And then people help each other. And then you're really and then you keep building on top of each other's projects. And I used to be a skateboarder. I remember thinking like, wow, it wasn't a competitive thing. It was more like a team sport that you get to play forever around the world where you just push each other in good ways. And I think that's why a lot of these projects are fun. It's very different than like one-on-one sports or business and other stuff. So thanks for skateboarding this week.
My third project isn't ready yet. I hope to have it ready for you for next week.
Okay.
I unveiled an early copy of it at DEF CON. It's called Rolling Thunder, and it's a heavily modified Jazzy 1450 motorized wheelchair.
Oh, neat.
It comes complete with a light package, a 200-watt stereo, a Raspberry Pi that plays movies, and it has a 14-inch monitor on the back of it.
Nice.
And a nebula projector, like a little spaceman nebula projector. It's not ready yet. It's not fully ready to show off, but I hope by next week it'll be ready to go.
Awesome.
Those projectors are really nice, the nebula ones. One of the things I want to do is play around with, the projection mapping that you can do where it looks at an object and then it projects something.
Yes.
On top of it. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Anyways.
This is the cheesier version of that. It's still a little 5-volt, Starfield nebula projector.
Right.
A full projector I tried to do, but the power consumption, even with like a laser instead of a bulb, it was still a lot of power, and my Jackery only has so many watts in it per day.
There is a tube-based projector that has a battery in it that's USB chargeable. You might want to check that. If you remember, send me an email. I'll send you a link to it. They're also not super expensive. That might be a neat thing to look at.
One of the things about that is that when you're securing something to a power wheelchair, you take a lot of jumps and bolts and knockarounds, and things tend to fall off. I've become a master of zip tying. It's like an art, like origami, but with zip ties. to make sure that things don't fall. Originally, my monitor used to cant, one way or the other, and I had to really knock down on that. And then everything is based on a PVC pipe frame that I built on the back of the chair. And a lot of audio equipment has a 1-inch pipe fitting in the bottom of it, so it dogs down on that. And then getting the power, because I don't want to take power away from the chair.
Yeah.
So I've got an external Jackery battery that handles that, and I've got it tuned to the point where I can get about 9 hours out of the battery before it dies.
Ooh.
All right, we'll
come back next week and show the third project.
Yeah.
Or whenever you get it done.
Yes.
We'll be here next week.
Hopefully I will have it done by then.
All right.
Okay, thank
Now
you
you
so
have
much, Delchi. And once again, thank you for the wonderful, nice, thoughtful gift. Very much
Yes.
appreciated.
Cheers. Enjoy.
All
All right, everybody, that is our show and tell this week. That was super fun. It's so good to be back meeting and sharing with folks. We'll see everybody on Ask an Engineer in just a minute or so. We're here every single week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see y'all next week.
See you in a few minutes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.